A very, very beautiful Monday morning to you and a warm welcome to the press, which you need live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Olamide Al-Hassan, and today is the 15th day of September 2025. We sincerely apologize for the late start this morning. So, of course, you already know what we do on the press. We give you updates on the weather forecast, and afterwards, we take you through what made it to the front page of our national dailies. And that's not all of it. We also bring in guests who analyze most of the top stories that we get to read out to you, and also an amazing segment where you get to call in and let your voice be heard. So right about now, let's begin with the weather forecast so we know how best to get our day started. And if you've started already, just so you know the precautionary measures you need to take. So you know I love to start from the core north. In Kano State this morning, it says about 26 degrees Celsius on the average. It's mostly cloudy. The highest is at 32 degrees Celsius and the lowest is at 23 degrees Celsius. And partly cloudy conditions to continue Partly cloudy conditions are expected from 9, which means already, and the wind gusts are up to 12 kilometers per hour in Kano State. From Kano State now, let's see what's making it to let's see what happens in Kaduna. Kaduna says on the average about 24 degrees Celsius. It's mostly cloudy. The highest is at 30 degrees Celsius and the lowest is at 21 degrees Celsius. And thunderstorms are expected around 6 p.m. today as wind gusts are up to 12 kilometers per hour as well in Kaduna. And from Kaduna State, let's head on to Imo State. Imo State is on the average about 24 degrees Celsius. It's drizzling at the moment, but the highest is at 28 degrees Celsius and the lowest is at 22 degrees Celsius. And rainy conditions will continue all day as wind gusts are up to 13 kilometers per hour in Imo. And from Imo now to Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt says on the average about 24 degrees Celsius. It's currently drizzling. The highest is at 27 degrees Celsius and the lowest is at 23 degrees Celsius. And rainy conditions will continue all day as wind gusts are up to 11 kilometers per hour in Port Harcourt. And from Port Harcourt now to Lagos State, the commercial nerve center of Nigeria. It says 25 degrees Celsius on the average and it's currently drizzling. The highest is at 28 degrees Celsius and the lowest is at 24 degrees Celsius. And rainy conditions will continue all day as wind gusts are up to 16 kilometers per hour. And now back to the Federal Capital Territory where you're currently watching us from, Abuja. Abuja says on the average about 24 degrees Celsius. It's mostly cloudy. The highest is at 28 degrees Celsius and the lowest is at 22 degrees Celsius. And thunderstorms are expected around 1800 as wind gusts are up to 13 kilometers per hour. Well, that's it for the weather forecast. This is just for you to know how best to get your day started so you can get like your day planner. And now let's take a look at what made it to the front page of our national dailies. We'll start with some punchy headlines from the Punch newspaper this morning. It says, emergency rule. IBAS defends 6-month tenure as opposition demands probe. Emergency rule. IBAS demands 6-month tenure as opposition, IBAS defends 6-month tenure as opposition demands probe. Now, PDP LP must up others call for accountability as Fubara returns September 18th. Wike Fubara Shun transition Thanksgiving service, and that's on page 2 for your read this morning. Dangote deploys 1,000 trucks, Ipman rallies marketers, and that's on page 7. Crude earnings fall by 3.18 trillion naira amid output surge, and that's on page 29. Kano seeks transfer from DSS to National Hospital, and that's on page 3 for your read this morning. INEC Catholic bishops clash over 2023 poll credibility, and that's on page 3 for your read this morning as well. Now, states pledge quality education as schools resume today, and that's on page 8. Suspected herders kill man, injure wife in Benue. Flooding. FG calls for evacuation in 11 states. That's in page 2. And the picture story you find is Sole Administrator River State Administrator Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas retired. Permanent secretaries, local government chairman, heads of boards, agencies, parastatals, service commanders, and traditional rulers during an interdenominational Thanksgiving service in commemoration of transitional activities to usher in democratic governance in Rivers State in Port Harcourt yesterday. That's a picture story you find on the front page of the Punch newspaper for this morning. And now let's take a look at other papers that we have in store for you. And now up next is The Nation newspaper. The Nation says, why North will vote Tinubu by Niger State Governor Bago. Why North will vote Tinubu by Niger State Governor Bago. You know what they say, that the devil is in the details. You probably want to pick up a copy of this Nation newspaper for this morning to find out more why this governor has made the statement. I didn't make that. He made it. And writer says, President has performed to expectations. Would you agree as citizens? And power should remain in South till 2031. Interesting development, I would say. Well, that's it. Well, let's take other stories from the front page. Ansaru leaders' conviction, victory in battle against illegal mining. Ansaru leaders' conviction, victory in battle against illegal mining. We really do hope so. Well, you find that on page 5 of the paper this morning. No going back on free fuel distribution, says Dangote. No going back on free fuel distribution, says Dangote. It makes life a lot easier because it simply means that the pump prices are going to reduce. Because if you're getting the fuel for free, I mean, transportation is off it. It means that the costing will probably be understandable. So you will probably drop the prices of fuel, and that would bring some sort of relief in every aspect. Well, that's on page 7. You probably want to find out more details as to why this is going on or when it will take place. And now Peter Obi visits Obasanjo Ladoja in Southwest Shuttle. Peter Obi visits Obasanjo Ladoja in Southwest Shuttle. Build on seed of reconciliation, Ibas tells Fubara and lawmakers. Build on seed of reconciliation, Ibas tells Fubara and lawmakers, and that's on page 7 for your read this morning. Botswana president names Nigerian Gumel Board Chair, Sovereign Wealth Fund. Botswana president names Nigerian Gumel Board Chair as Sovereign Wealth Fund, and that's on page 6 for your read this morning. Experts. Consistent drop in inflation rates will stimulate investment. No doubt about that. We hope that there will be consistent drop. And that's on page 6. Uzodinma presents book on APC's 10 years in government comes September 30th. And that's on page 7 for your read this morning. And now let's take a look at what the picture story says. Oh, the picture story is of All Progressives Congress National Chairman Professor Netawe Uwada and Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Apostolic Nonko to Nigeria, Archbishop Michael Francis Crotty, and President Catholic Bishops Conference of Nigeria, Archbishop Lucius Ugoji, the representative of the President, Senator George Akume, Akwa Ibom State Governor Umo Eno, Senator Victor Ume, and others at the Catholic Bishops Conference in Ikotekmene, Akwa Ibom State yesterday. And that's it on the front page of The Nation. And now to the Nigerian Tribune. It says parents groan as school resume 2025-2026 academic year calendar. I can attest to that. It's not easy because school's bills, it's inflation is also affecting school bills. So it's understandable when I hear parents groan. And the break is way too short. All right, so parents groan as schools resume 2025-2026 academic year. We have no option but to increase fees, says school owners. Stakeholders seek ban on mandatory sale of books by schools. Mandatory sale of books, mandatory sale of school uniforms at outrageous rates. So there are lots of conversation around that. Well, you find that on page 12 for your read this morning. And now Nigeria's economy back on global investors' radar, says analysts. Says CBN's FX overall stable naira spark renewed confidence despite lag in long-term FDIs. And that's on page 10 for your read this morning. Governor Adeleke has surpassed APC's 12-year record under 3 years. Osun students leaders. Failed opposition aspirants should see what even the blind are seeing, says Adeleke. And that's on the front page. Dangote Refinery accuses DAPman of misleading Nigerians, says it offers cheaper fuel despite importing 60% of crude. Dangote Refinery accuses DAPman of misleading Nigerians, says it offers cheaper fuel despite importing 60% of crude, and that's on page 29. Travelers at risk as scams extortion rampant at Lagos airport. Travelers at risk as scams extortion rampant at Lagos airport, and that's on page 26. Now, Akpabio Akume to Nigerians, bear with Tinubu over economic hardship, and that's on page 22 for your read this morning. And now, drinking too little water predisposes to stress. So that means you have to take a lot of water, a lot more. And that's on page 26 for your read this morning. And legal profession in turmoil as MBA's mandatory training. I'll take that again. Legal profession in turmoil over MBA's mandatory training. Is the new policy a fix or flaw? Senior lawyers speak out. And that's on page 29 for your read this morning. And the picture story you find at the top is of presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 election, Mr. Peter Obi, and Olubadan designates Oba Rashidi Ladoja during Obi's visit to Oba Ladoja at his residence in Bodija, Ibadan on Sunday. And the second picture story you find is Group Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of United Bank of Africa, PLC, Oliver Alauba, and President of Kenya, William Ruto, during the visit of Mr. Alauba to the Kenyan President, an announcement of UBA's landmark pledge, US 150 million USD, to the government of Kenya's road levy securitization program, initiative spearheaded by the Kenya Roads Board in Nairobi, Kenya at the weekend. Interesting development. And now let's take a look at other papers that we have for you this morning. Over to the Daily Monitor. Daily Monitor says FCT resident doctors declare indefinite strike. Cites failure of FCTA management to address their legitimate demands, 1 week warning strike as reason. NAD suspends warning strike after federal government assurances, and that's on the front page. My government's working to build a country that works for everyone, says Tinubu. Says that his administration will leave no one behind through its social investment programs. Urges religious leaders to champion peace. Now, early campaigns charge violators to court. Falan tells INEC, and that's on the front page. Federal government realigns TRCN, NTI roles to strengthen teaching profession, and that's on page 2. Post-UTME, rising fees, logistic burdens spark public outcry, and that's on page 4. Obi visits Ladoja, says Ibadan land key to Nigeria's human capital development, and that's on page 5. FRSC redeploys senior officers for effective service delivery nationwide, and that's on page 4 for your read as well. And that's it for the front page of the Daily Monitor. And now let's see what the leadership has in store. The leadership says no evacuate now. Communities near Niger, Benue, Gongola rivers told. As federal government issues fresh flood alerts to 10 northern, 1 southern states. That's on the front page for your read this morning. North can't take power back in 2027, says Bago. We've not submitted list of state chairmen to INEC, says ADC. Why we suspended strike, that's coming from resident doctors, and that's on page 6 for your read this morning. London court dismisses ownership claim on property linked to General Hussaini. That's on the front page. Let's nurture seeds of reconciliation in Rivers, says Ibas. Preachers must submit sermons for approval, says Niger State Governor. And now Kaduna flood, body of missing 3-year-old girl found. Oh my God. May her soul rest in perfect peace, and that's on page 18. Monetary Policy Committee members project Naira at 1,400 Naira per dollar by year end, and that's on page 23. Obi visits Ladoja, hails Ibadan's role in Nigeria's history, and that's on page 4 for your read this morning. And now let's move on from the leadership newspaper to The Guardian. The Guardian says back to school, parents struggle with steep tuition hike as schools wrestle rising OPEX. I'll take that again. Back to school. Parents struggle with steep tuition hike as schools wrestle rising, I'm sure it's operational expenses, and that's on page 6 for your read this morning. And now Akpabi urges Nigerians to tarry since says Tinubu's reforms will bear fruit, and that's on page 5. That man warns against divisive narratives in downstream sector. That's also for your read. And INEC orders tax on credible polls to avert protest, and that's on page 5. Now, punish politicians in early election campaign, Serap tells INEC. 11 states may experience heavy rain this week, federal government warns, and that's on page 27. Expert divided over Fubara's return as emergency rule expires Thursday, and that's on page 6. Shekarau's PDP chairmanship, ADA's prospects on settle ADC coalition, and that's on page 29. Arewashala condemns APC's economic policies, and that's on page 27. Don blames poor nutrition policy execution for 45% child morbidity. Interesting. All right, now let's take a look at other papers and let's go to the Daily Times newspaper for this morning. The Daily Times says federal government expands school feeding program to 50 million pupils mark by 2026. Federal government expands school feeding program to 50 million pupils mark by 2026, and that's on page 2 for your read this morning. CIN not mandatory for bank account opening, says FIRS clarifies, and that's on page 7. Resident doctors suspend warning strike, bank on FG's assurances, and that's on page 2. Conviction of terrorist commander, a win against illegal mining, says Alake, and that's on page 2. NDLEA nabs Indian businessman with 3.9 billion naira tramadol at Lagos airport, and that's on page 8. Now, climate data needed to stem financial risk, and Osike tells regulators, and that's on page 14. And our police foil caught robbery activities in Asaba, Ibusa, arrest 63 suspects. And that's on the front page of the Daily Times newspaper for this morning. And now let's see what the Daily Independent has in store for us. The Daily Independent says 6 months to deadline, only 14 banks have met recapitalization. 6 months to deadline, only 14 banks have met recapitalization. That's another conversation. And now, don't dent your image by running in 2027, Sergei tells Jonathan. Those asking him to run as selfish elements, says Afegwa. Obedience deny begging ex-president to step down for Obi. And that's on the front page for your read this morning. Prevent strike by varsity unions, pro-chancellors tell federal government. Serap gives INEC 7 days to punish politicians over early campaigns. That's on page 6. Outgoing Rivers sole administrator begs politicians to embrace peace. And our federal government warns of flooding in 11 states, urges evacuation, and that's on page 7 for your read this morning. Tinubu urged to impose emergency rule in Zamfara, that's on page 6. September MPC analysts see CBN keeping rates steady. Without reforms, judiciary risks further public trust erosion, and that's on page. That's according to the lawyers, and that's on the front page for your read this morning. And now to the Daily Trust, that said the newspaper you can trust. Sudden death. That's what's on the front page. Just sudden death. Sudden death rises, I beg your pardon. And now you probably want to read more to find out why this is happening. And Zamfara accident. Mother found dead holding child. Oh my God. Kaduna houses. Farms flooded. FG issues fresh alerts in 11 states. Billions at stake as Nigerians pay for failed USSD transactions. And that's on the front page for your read this morning as well. 2027, only endorsements by citizens can save Tinubu. Sanusi raises alarm over federal government borrowing Thugs attack German in Abuja, and that's on the front page for your read this morning. And now let's see what the Vanguard has in store. How attendants manipulate pumps, extorts petrol consumers nationwide. How I was scammed, says victim. I've been a victim myself, so I understand where this is coming from. I truly wish that more of the management can do something better around some of these things. Now, cheating usually intense during scarcity, says motorist. NMDPRA lacks adequate personnel, absent at filling stations. I've probably never seen any one of them there before, and that's on page 21. Now, speak truth to power. Tinubu challenges fake leaders, and that's on page 5. FG predicts flooding in 11 states, advises evacuation, and that's on page 8 for your read this morning. Now, NDLEA arrests Indian, 3 Nigerians, over 3.9 billion naira tramadol shipments, and that's on page 6. Diamond-rich Botswana appoints Nigerian Farouk Gumel as chairman of Sovereign Wealth Fund, and that's on page 19. Foreign policy, Nigeria remains non-aligned, says Tuga, and that's on page 5. And now, picture story is the same as earlier. Obi's visit to Obasanjo and Ladoja, that's what you see here. And now let's see what other papers have in store for us. And finally, First Daily. NDLEA arrests Indian businessman, Nigerians, over 3.9 billion naira tramadol at Lagos Airport. Agency busts international cartel in major drug war victory. And that's on the front page. Ibas urges Rivers politicians, sheath swords, embrace reconciliation. That's on the front page. Now, tension deepens as Wike Fubara boycotts Ibas Thanksgiving. Abia government denies 450 million naira levy claim on filling stations. Mobile courts convict 245 traffic offenders in Abuja clampdown. Now, FG to feed 50 million pupils under 2026 school meals program. Set up to INEC, sanction politicians for early campaigns or face courts. Big Brother shocker, Denari Tracy booted from house. That's on the front page. And our man hacks neighbor to death in Akwa Ibom. Oh my God. Well, that's it on the front page of the paper for this morning. It's time now for a quick break. When we return, we'll be joined by guests for analysis of the top stories we read out to you earlier. And don't also forget that our phone lines will then be open for you to call in and join the conversation. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back, viewers. You're still on To The Press, and we're reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. We've now been joined by our guests, Habib Kaju, who's a public affairs analyst, BDC expert as well, to help us analyze on most of the top stories we read out to you earlier. Mr. Kaju, you're welcome to the studio this morning.
Thanks for having me. Good morning, Olamide. Good morning, Nigerians.
And your twin brother is missing today.
Yeah.
But it's good to have you in the studio.
Thanks for having me.
Honestly, it's a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Now, Mr. Kaju, I'm sure that you are very ready for the conversation that have been heated so far since yesterday, especially with not having Wike or Fubara at the Thanksgiving service organized for the transitioning process, because we believe that Fubara should be back on his seat. The governor of Rivers State should be back on his seat come 18th of September. But as at yesterday, which was like a transitioning Thanksgiving service organized and in honor of maybe Ibas, we didn't see Wike and we didn't see the Fubara there. Do you think that sent some sort of a message, or we're not ready for some sort of reconciliation? And do you think that this 6 months emergency rule could have actually doused the tension in River State to some extent?
Well, the Thanksgiving is for the retired Real Admiral Ibas. Whether he has done well or he has not done well, that is for him and the people of the rivers and those who he appoints. You understand? Mm-hmm. The absence of the governor, normally you will have the absence of the governor because the governor is still aggrieved. You understand? Mm-hmm. Because he was removed illegally. He has the mandate of the people, and the reasons why he was removed is not a valid circumstance that led to his removal. due to some pressure from other political gladiator. You understand? Or I would say gladiators, because even the president is also joined in the fight, and suspended him, and so many things happened. And I always say the president is wrong by declaring state of emergency that led to the removal of those who the people of Rivers give mandate
But he
to
was not
rule
removed.
them, to govern
he was
them.
only suspended.
You understand? You didn't understand. It's not. We are not. It's not the issue of the personality in that seat, but the institutions of democracy, the executive and the legislative and the local government executives. You understand? That's where the problem is. That's where the crisis is. Now you have a local government election. You did what you want to do, and you expect the governor to come and say what or to do what in Thanksgiving. No need. I don't see any reasons. You understand?
Okay.
And maybe he may come back and start challenging that election in court, because that election is subject to illegality, whatever you put it, because there is no way administrator will call for local government election. It's not allowed in our constitution. It's not allowed anywhere. It's illegality, and the sovereignty of the River State people has been trampled upon.
All right. Just a minute. Viewers, also be reminded that our phone lines are now open for you to call in and join the conversation as it progresses this morning. Let's know what you think about what's happening in Rivers State at the moment. But talking about, you said the president has trampled upon the rights of the citizens, like taking away the person, suspending, because it was a suspension, suspending the person that they rightfully gave their mandate to. But at the same time, was it not in the interest of the people?
Whether you call it suspension or whatever you call it, it was a removal. You understand? And dismantling the structures of democracy. You understand? And it's so unfortunate that the president commander-in-chief, who said he fought for this democracy and dismantling the structures of democracy. You understand? A president that said he believed in rule of law. And he did this. You got it. So now that the administrators, 6 months will expire, and the president is not in the country, tell me, what is going to happen? What is the next line of action?
Should that be a problem?
Yes. He has to announce the National Assembly that
today is just 15th, Mr. Gajo.
Eh?
Today is just 15th. There's still 16th, there's still 17th for anything to happen.
It's 3 days. You understand?
Very well.
So we don't know how they will bring back these structures of democracy.
Actually, arrangements are already underway, and that's why you see IBAS organizing a Thanksgiving service for a transitioning.
IBAS cannot hand over
until he gets the order.
You understand? So somebody has to hand over, because his time is off. The timeline is expired, and the person that removed him is not there. Who will give? How are they going to return him? Swearing him again for a fresh term?
Okay.
Or just bringing him in the way he was removed out? That is why I said it's a subject of illegality. You have to find a level of law that governs your action.
So you think the president is all shades of wrong, like it's not allowed for him to have called for an emergency rule?
is not allowed to remove a governor.
But he's not the first person that has done that, right?
You can declare the state of emergency without removing the governor. It have done
suspending.
You understand? No, President Jonathan declared state of emergency in 3 states: Borno, Yobe, Adamawa.
Olusegun Obasanjo as well.
And he has not removed the governors. You understand? Obasanjo declared state of emergency in what they call it, Plateau State. And they went to court. Obasanjo lost. And the National Assembly was against it. And he went ahead. It's illegality. Even the National Assembly at that time, more especially the House of Rep, wanted to impeach Obasanjo for declaring state of emergency or for removing the governor in Plateau State. So, and since then, you understand, there is a judgment in the Supreme Court.
But don't you see this as a case of the national importance that Port Harcourt, River State holds?
All of them, they were elected, and all of them are executives. You understand?
So you'd rather, my question would be, you'd rather that the unrest continues in River State and nothing is done about it?
There is no unrest. It's just a political crisis, and it happens in levels.
But it was skyrocketing.
It's skyrocketing in how?
The president even had to call to have a conversations with the parties involved.
There is no loss of life. There is no loss of properties. You understand? It's just a verbal war in media. Okay. And party politics, where you have people are being killed in thousands, in hundreds on daily basis, has not warrant a state of emergency. It's River State that is peaceful. The people of River State are peaceful. There is no insurgency. There is no terrorists. There is no terror attack. There is nothing, just because somebody feels he is powerful. You understand?
That's his opinion.
And he wants to do what he wants the president to do what he wants to do. And
who is that somebody in quotes?
The listeners knows him now. The former governor of Rivers State.
Well, Ibas has been encouraging them anyway to sheath their swords and embrace reconciliation. So not having both of them present during that Thanksgiving service, either of them, do you think that...
Now you have come to my point.
Okay.
Ibas called them to sheath their
swords, yes.
Between who and who? Between the suspended governor and the former governor.
Sure.
Not the people of River State. Not the reason why the state of emergency or the constitution that allows state of emergency to be declared. He has not said, I have fought terrorists, I have ended insurgency in River State. Now River State is peaceful. I have done this. I have done that. Now the government, I will hand over. I have a successful administration. You understand?
So what would you suggest could have been done in this case with the kind of unrest that was happening in River State? What should have happened?
Unrest.
Ignore?
Stop saying unrest.
Okay.
With the
political crisis that was going on,
yes.
should all fingers just be crossed and everybody just ignore?
It depends. It depends on the people of River State.
Because if those kind of crises are happening, like you said, they say when two elephants are fighting, who suffers? The grass. So if something is not being done about it, it means that it will begin to trample down to the grasses.
That is why the people of River State are protesting. You understand? To return their elected governor.
Well, they're going to have him in 3 days.
Yeah. So it's left for the governor either to stay in PDP or to move out to another party. You understand? Because the manipulation has been done. The structures of democracy and the political party that gave
Fubara to become a governor has been also dismantled technically and been manipulated by illegality. So, yes, so if he is coming back, he needs to decide where he will belong to. He will belong to PDP or he will belong to APC. But if he remains in PDP, crisis continues because you have more local government, you have illegal members of the state assembly that they come from PDP to APC, and the Supreme Court said there is no evidence for that they have decamped. You see, Olamide, there is a lot of illegalities that happen in River State, and even the judiciary is part of it.
Okay.
How can you declare people that said, I have left this party, I have joined this party, and you said there is no evidence? And they went to APC secretariat, the lawmakers, the state assembly members, and the governor conducted the election, and the powers of the governor to call for the election is in the constitution. It's in the INEC guideline. So governor called for election, and election was conducted, and Supreme Court annulled that election or dismantled that election and gave the president way to dismantle those structures of. So the executive and the judiciary connive to destroy the democracy in River State. And don't forget, the reason why I'm saying this, because Nigeria is a federal system.
So you believe that
River State
efforts to restore peace, the president's effort to restore peace in River State is a destruction of the democracy?
It's a destruction of democracy. You understand? Because there is no crisis. There is no crisis at all. There is no basis to declare state of emergency.
Even when government properties were being set ablaze, because you still don't see it that way.
Which government property that has been blazed away? If APC went and bombed their secretariat, is it?
So when bombing starts in a place, you still think there's no crisis that way? Is that your definition of no crisis?
The bombing is in APC secretariat. You understand? And you see, what the government need to investigate and get those who committed that crime. But it has never been investigated. Nobody was brought to book for bombing that secretariat. And the same APC government declared state of emergency. Haba. Which country are we?
Mr. Kajo, quite a lot. But let's move on to other stories. Since you don't believe that, you think it's unconstitutional.
It's unconstitutional. It's politically motivated.
All right, but we're looking forward to the 18th of September to see what's going to happen, while we also wait for the president to actually say something regarding the return of the suspended governor of River State.
Maybe he will announce it from where he is.
Anything is possible. Now let's look at politics. More politics, because we've actually been talking about politics. Now that we have this story on the front page of Voice of Liberty. It says 2027 moves to draft Jonathan into presidential race gathers momentum. Fresh moves to persuade former President Goodluck Jonathan return to the political stage ahead of 2027 general elections are gaining momentum. Now there are conversations around Goodluck Jonathan coming back, running in 2027, because they believe that he's the only one who can actually stand the chance to actually run. I'd like to get your opinion on that. And we also have a Peter Obi who's making some strategic visits, like he's going to visit some former presidents, Olusegun Obasanjo, and as well as the sitting Olubadan, Ladoja, Oba Rashidi Ladoja. He's making some visits around the Southwest. I'd like to get your opinion on this. A Jonathan coming back in, or Peter Obi trying to get all the backings needed? Let's get your thoughts.
Well, for now they are in different parties. In fact, we Nigerians don't even know which party Jonathan belonged to. If PDP wanted him back, and they start making move, I believe most of PDP will not vote for for Jonathan, and they will not work for Jonathan.
Why not?
One, you see, his weakness during his leadership is there that caused the PDP in 2015. Secondly, since he lost the election, he's supposed to, according to the PDP constitution, the president that left office is going to be the next board of trustee chairman of the party. Obasanjo took that position, and Obasanjo ended his tenure. Jonathan refused to take. You understand? Refused to be the board of trustee chairman. And since he lost the election, he has never attended any of PDP meeting, either NEC or board of trustee. And he never give any contribution from 2015 to date we are talking. He has never contributed anything. Several committees were constituted, and they went to him for advice. He refused to give advice. And we have been seeing him with APC of Muhammadu Buhari. And Muhammadu Buhari even wanted him to join the APC and became a presidential candidate of APC until the leaders of the APC disagree and fought that. And Jonathan was relaxed, and Tinubu was elected. You understand? And we are still seeing him with Tinubu, whether it's a national assignment or any other thing. But if you know you are belong to your own house, you need to be in your house, not to be in your neighbor's house or in somebody's house. And I have never seen anybody who will destroy his father's house and go and seek refuge in somebody's house. You understand? That's the issue Atiku is having. And that's the issue Peter Obi is having. You understand? Both of them, Peter Obi from ABGA, Atiku from PDP. They have moved to so many political parties that we are hearing now. They are going to do alliance.
So you mean they are not party loyalists?
So the members of the PDP that went and seek for the return of Jonathan, and we have seen his godson is fighting his return, and some founding fathers of the party are disagreeing for his return. That's the momentum that is gathering. But Jonathan said, quote and unquote, he said Nigerian politicians are liars, are traitors. You understand?
Yes.
He said so.
So do you think that would hinder him from coming again?
So those who went to call him back to the race, this is the answer he gave them. So there is no any cause for alarm. PDP should just look more looking forward. Let them be strategic. Let them allow primary election and the convention to hold and primary election to hold. You understand? Let the people, let the members of the party choose who is going to fly their flag. You understand? Not somebody go and bring somebody, or somebody will say is here or not there. You understand?
Yes.
Is one of the things that that is killing PDP, more especially this zoning issue. There is a lot of back and front since 2006 up till to date. There is back and front. I know many Nigerians don't know how Atiku fought Obasanjo on this zoning issue in 2006, because Peter Odili was contesting. You understand? And PDP has to sit at the side on expanded caucus to agree back to the north. And Obasanjo went and searched for Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. You understand? And Umaru Musa Yar'Adua died. Jonathan took over. There is also a crisis of zoning that all of them, the PDP and the Atiku, went to court and fought that in court up to appeal court, but there is no specific judgment. You understand?
Very well.
It's a party affairs, is unconstitutional. So the court cannot give. Atiku was thrown out in 2015. The same thing happened. In 2015.
In 2015, yes.
That led to the members of the G5 group, G7 negotiate to
Please,
move to APC.
Let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Sorry, I think we lost that one there. Please go ahead.
So,
2015, the G7.
Yeah, the crisis continued to 2014, and they left the party. They did the new PDP, the faction of PDP that left PDP and joined APC to produce President Muhammadu Buhari. Is a zoning issue that brought that crisis. And in 2019, it's also zoning issue that led to many of the party members to the camp and did anti-party in 2019. And 2023, the same thing happened between Wike and Atiku that led the 5 governors who went and did anti-party. It's all about zoning. So PDP should throw out zoning completely and continue the path of democracy. You understand? Because anything that is unconstitutional is also undemocratic.
All right.
So they should know that. I remember Abubakar Rimi in 2003 and 1999. He kept saying that PDP should not accept zoning because zoning is unconstitutional, undemocratic. That is why Abubakar Rimi, Gimadi, and so many of them, including Rochas or Korochas and so on, contested in 2003 with Obasanjo in primaries with Alice Ikweme. You understand?
Very well.
PDP should do away with zoning.
So you don't think zoning is a good idea?
It's a bad idea. It's undemocratic. I don't believe in it.
So you believe?
I believe in anybody that is capable and that has the capacity and capability, you understand, and competent to lead the party and the president to fly the flag of the party to be the president of Nigeria. I subscribe to that. You
okay,
understand?
maybe you probably have the same mentality as Atiku Abubakar. Maybe that's why he keeps trying to run every single time since 2023. I mean, since 2003. Maybe that's why he has the intentions of, I don't care about zoning, so whatever happens, I'm going to keep coming, I'm going to keep contesting.
Yeah, because zoning hurt him. You understand? In PDP, at that time, he is the most competent and capable in the party, and as a vice president, he was denied. You understand? Based on zoning, in 2011, he was denied based on zoning. In 2000, Peter Odili was also denied
Based on zoning.
in 2007 based on zoning, and so many were denied based on zoning. You understand?
Very well. It sure looks like 2027 is going to be a really decisive year. But let's quickly take this one. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kaftan TV.
Good morning. You're welcome to the press.
Good morning, Mr. Gaigo.
Morning, sir.
Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Umar Gwagwas. I'm calling you from Makodi.
All right, Mr. Umar, please join the conversation this morning.
Umar,
Mr. Gaigo, thank you for all your analysis today or this morning.
you're welcome.
We really appreciate and enjoy your analysis.
Thank
I don't
you.
have much to say today,
Oh,
just to give you compliments.
thank you
for
so
a job
much.
well done. And thanks, Kaftan TV, for bringing personalities like this for us. To
Thank you.
enlighten us, educate us more on politics, governance, and thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution.
I'm not too feeling fine, so thank you.
Oh, stay strong. Wish you
Thank
quick
you,
recovery.
Umar Abbas.
Thank you. Mr. Gajo,
Yes.
you know, there's a conversation around the fact, okay, if you do not believe you don't believe in zoning and you don't think it's a good idea, but what do you make of a situation where maybe power keeps going to one part of the country? Wouldn't others feel marginalized?
You see, in democracy,
Because, sorry, let me tell you the reason why I said that. Because election does not just speak to sentiment, it speaks to numbers, power. It speaks to the figures.
Now, Olamide, we all know that black Americans are minority in United States of America. But because Barack Obama was so competent,
Okay.
he became the president, the first black president. You understand?
Yes.
So that's how it's supposed to be. You understand?
Very well.
Now, if you take zoning issue, tell me which part of the country that did not govern Nigeria. All of them govern Nigeria. Southeast Zik govern Nigeria.
No, since independence.
Southwest, I'm coming. You see,
Since the democratic rule, we would
you-
not say
you
the same
cannot
thing, right?
You cannot dismantle the whole years of Nigeria since where.
But the
it is
question
born.
is-
Wait, I'm coming.
Okay.
You can't dismantle the years that you were born, and you said it's when you reach 18, your years will start counting.
But
No,
Mr. Gajo, but you
I'm
would
coming.
also not say
No,
that
you-
if you're using the past.
Yes, we have
if you're
to-
if we're
we-
looking at the
we
past,
have to use
when
the
was the
past.
last
We have
time
to- we
a
have
part
to
of the
know-
country ruled? If that's what you want to say.
You see, we need to know ourselves from where we are coming from.
Of course, we're looking at where we're coming from.
And the root. You understand? That's the foundation you will place on. The reason why I don't believe in 1999 something of zoning issue is now, like I said, Zik govern, Obasanjo, Murtala govern, Obasanjo govern, what is name? Gawan govern, Abdul Salam, Babangida, Shehu Shagari, and Umaru Musa Adua. You understand?
Very well.
Now you have a prime minister and vice president from the northeast. You understand? Now you have a vice president also from the southeast. Now, if you put all those together, you will now, and the south also govern. President Jonathan is from south. You understand? So now, the issue of 1999 is different scenario. You understand? In Nigerian political history. The reason why I say that is after the annulment of June 12 election that caused a lot of crisis and division, you understand, in the country, how are you going to unite Nigeria? And the military ignorantly said, we have zoned it to the southwest, microzone to the southwest. That's the first error, you understand? Not the south to southwest. It's only Obasanjo and Olufalaye that contested in 1999 election. They are all from the southwest. You see where the problem is. In 2006, they now came and said, in PDP, they now said, okay, let's the expanded caucus ratify the zoning formula. You understand?
Very well.
That it will continue to 2007. So 2007 will be the turn of the north. Why didn't it say northeast or northwest or north central or north zone? Since you have microzone to the southwest. You see, southeast. They have not done that. They say, no, we have two regions.
Okay.
You understand? North and south. That is why I said you can't count your age from 18. You count your age from the day you were born. If you made a mistake at the age of 15, 16, we know that you have been naughty. It's normal, you understand?
Yeah.
But when you become 18 to 20, you are matured. You are a full-grown human being. Nobody will decide on you. Nobody will dictate on you. So this is what happened to Nigerian democracy from 1960 to 1999, from 1999 to 2023 that we are in. Even the APC has joined the zoning issue. You understand? Though some said it has not been to zone to the south, it has been given to Emiloko. Is Emiloko.
Mr. Gajo.
So we are still
concern.
We are still watching how APC will reconcile their own zoning formula.
Okay,
That is why 2027 is going to be a heated one, the hot election season that we will enter.
Okay, but my concern and my question for you is, you said no part of the country would say they've not ruled before.
Who did not rule?
I'm coming. That's what you said. So looking at since independence, right?
Yes.
If you're going to mention Azikwe, you're going to mention Aguiyi-Ironsi, the question is just those? For how long other parts of the country have actually ruled? And since independence, since democratic rule, have we had anybody from the southeast?
Since
the democratic rule.
Since democratic rule, do you have somebody from North Central? Do you have somebody from the Northeast? It's between the Southwest and the Northwest. It's only the military that you have this, the rest of the one, except President Jonathan, that also became a president.
So you would agree then that it's not like every region has actually ruled, like you said. There was something you said. You said every region has ruled, but you would agree that since independence, you cannot count 65 years ago as a time when you would typically have ruled. When we have since 1999, where it's supposed to be democratic, where it becomes... Mr. Gajo, this is a point of where, you talked about democracy.
Do you have history?
Mr. Gajo, wait, you talked about democracy. You said the president, you were the one that used, so I'm trying to use the lines you used. You said the president is depriving the people of their rights by actually taking out... by suspending the governor of Rivers State.
Yes, that's the...
So if we're talking about the people's mandates now, we should start thinking about since when the people had the power to vote and make their decisions, which is from 1999 till now.
The mandate of the people is to come out and vote for a competent president, because I'm coming. Other political parties are fielding a candidate from other region and other zones of the country, but people are not voting for them, are voting for PDP and APC.
Political parties,
You
because
understand?
because they
Now-
made it so.
Now, in political parties, they should dismantle that. They should allow everybody to contest. You understand? Try your luck, and God will give you. Believe
I like that.
in yourself.
I like that,
Yeah.
Mr. Gajo.
Yes.
I really love that statement you made. But what I was trying to tell you is that since the democratic rule, you would not say that there's no region that has not ruled. That's what I wanted to make clear. Is that correct?
See, you see, whether democratically or military regimes, the seat of the president is executive seat.
All right.
You understand?
I agree.
So even the military that is using a decree, but when it comes to rule, you understand, they call themselves head of state and president, commander-in-chief.
All right.
So there is no difference.
All right. Thank you so much, Habib
The
Gajo.
only people that will say they have not had a president, but they had a prime minister, you understand, is Northeast. They are prime minister and they now have 2 vice presidents.
Of course.
So the Southwest also has
All
2
right.
presidents, 2 vice presidents. The South
All right, Mr.
has
Gajo, our
1
time is
president
already gone.
and almost 6 vice presidents. The Southeast
Thank you
has
so much.
2 presidents and 1 vice president, and
All
so on and so forth.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time today, Mr. Gajo.
Me too. I contested the president in 2019.
Impressive.
Yes.
We want to see you again in
Young-
2027. You'll be
Young
beautiful.
Democratic Party.
We will look
You-
forward
you
to you in
understand?
2027. I hope
But-
you run again.
But
Our time is already gone, Mr.
yes,
Gajo.
but
Thank you.
But because of zoning,
All right. Oh, now I understand where you're coming from. But thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate you, Habib Gajo. It's always a pleasure to have you in the studio.
thanks for
Thank you
having
so
me.
much.
You're welcome.
All right, viewers, thank you so much for being a part of the show today. We really do hope that you enjoyed yourself. I am Olamide Al Hassan, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.